Hey everybody, welcome to another of our movie reviews. This is Ian here along with Chris.
What's up? You are in K-Saw Town.
Welcome everybody. And in case you're not getting the message there, we got sleigh bells jingling somewhat. Starting to get in the Christmas season mood. That is with this movie right here. Chris and I went out to see The Grinch, and man, we want to talk about
Yep, we're gonna tell you some stuff,
it.
and we're
And
gonna
things.
and then we're gonna wrap it up in a number at the end.
That's how it goes around here. Yeah, here it is, the Dr. Seuss classic in a 3D animated style. Of course, you can see
Yeah,
this is something that is naturally pitched around this time of year to kids and families going out to see this. My theater was packed with families and especially little kids excited to
yep,
go out and see this one. I think you were saying yours was too.
yeah. A little surprised. I was actually a little surprised it was so packed because it is. We're practically 2 months away from Christmas yet.
Right.
So I'm a little surprised. I thought that this is something they're going to release it now because it's a good date to release it, and then it'll be out there for the holidays, and people will trickle in throughout the next couple months.
Right.
No, it was packed. I Yeah, I had some problems with the people I saw this with, but we won't get into all that. But yeah, hey, yeah, it was very busy. It was actually the third busiest movie. I'd say. Incredibles 2 was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
I don't. Did I share that story for that review? I couldn't even sit. I had
You,
to
you
sit on the
did.
stairs. There were no seats. I sat on the stairs and watched the whole time. And then Infinity War. But then this is third. This was really busy.
Right. Right.
Compared to the half a dozen people that were in there to see Overlord last night.
Oh man.
So, but that's don't take that as anything because that's like that with
Right.
most of the movies I go and see. I don't go see them during prime hours and stuff. I don't see
Right.
11 or 7 p.m. showings or anything. I go during the day typically, but this was a Saturday, so
Oh well, there you go.
kids and holiday and yeah. So, a little bit of context. This is my favorite childhood story. Love Dr. Seuss. Love the Grinch. Love the original animation. Still look for it every year. So the live action movie with Jim Carrey, what was that? Almost 20 years ago now, or something like that. It was what it was.
Right.
I mean, as far as the film goes, was it very good? No, but it was what it was.
Right. Right. And we had heard at least some of the early looks we were doing just a couple well, not really warning signs, but just a couple flags up front. Some people say, it's a bad movie, or
Right.
what we were going to see off the bat. But hey, we decided to wait and reserve judgment ourselves what we were going to see with this. Glad we did.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, hey,
Is good.
yeah, yeah.
Is good.
It is you come out of this, you can't help it. I mean, hey, it's seasonal. This is time right. This is hidden at the right time, and I think it strikes enough of those old chords with the original story to what you have now with the current season, where it works. It
Yeah.
works.
I really enjoyed myself. It was almost weird that I was there by myself. And that was it.
Yeah.
Almost weird, but no, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this version. I think taking what is it typically a 30 to 40 minute original animation and turning it into it's literally 90 minutes.
Yeah.
The filler, obviously a lot of filler. It was really good. A lot of extra things, obviously, to the story, which worked really well.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. You're gonna enjoy it. That being said, it did have a couple issues that I had with it. Overall, I mean, kind of like with Incredibles 2, you have to kind of grade this on a little bit of a curve. This
You
is
do.
a holiday movie, and with it is going to be holiday stuff.
Right.
And this is obviously based mainly for kids. Although if you are an adult, you're going to be just fine watching this. It is hilarious. It is also universal comedy. You're gonna have a good time with it. You're not gonna be like, "Oh, this is for kids," and I can't say. No,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be like that at all. Especially if you're a pet owner, you are definitely going to relate to this movie. Um, yeah. So I'm sorry. So Ian, go ahead.
Yeah, man. And you're looking at this, I think Benedict Cumberbatch does a solid job, man, with his delivery of Grinch as far as his style,
Yes,
his styling, the way he
he was
comes across.
perfect.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. Um, Benjamin Cumberbatch, I don't really, he's Doctor Strange. He's a couple other things, but he's also what's his name? That doctor detective guy who is what's his name?
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's also Sherlock Holmes. But up until now, I was all right. There's Benjamin Cumberbatch. I am now officially a fan.
Right on.
He's that good. He's brilliant
Yeah.
in this. I mean, he is perfect. He is the best part of what is all over a really good movie. He is the best part. He sells this. This is on his back the whole time, and he does it without an issue.
Right on. And I think he's really shown, I think, the range here for all the various ups and downs go through. And I think you can expect with the classic story like this from him hating Christmas, hating everything it represents, trying to take it away, to really coming out of that whole cycle into that more redemptive character we know by the end of the whole classic story. Which leaves me I'm thinking of some of the extra riffs we have on this. The extra backstory with Grinch. As to just why he dislikes Christmas so much. Stuff like
that. Is that new?
To me, it is. It is.
It is to me.
It is. And I thought that actually worked. I don't think that interfered necessarily with the story. And there's that harkens to, I think, what a lot of people just sort of generally what we see today in movies, what we kind of expect, like more of that motivation behind it. The original Grinch had so much of that fairy tale feel behind it that we're not as based in those elements. And I think this film takes those liberties and runs with it, just like it sort of pulls us a little bit out of the magical to kind of show us how scheming Grinch is and how good he is at inventing things. He's got all this technology to help him pull this huge heist off, and the way he does it. So, in a way, you have that ever so slightly more realistic approach to the original story, but it's still it hits the same chords, it hits the same heartstrings. So.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Actually, you're kind of going into one of the things I kind of fault the movie for. I have a few issues.
Yeah.
They're overall minor. I don't think this movie works very well on its own.
Right.
I think if you watch this movie, you should see the original animation or read the book first.
Definitely.
By itself, I think it actually falls a little flat. Some of those important notes. I just don't think they hit them very well. I mean,
right.
they hit everything here, and they do a good job of it. But it's like, gosh, and maybe because I was little, but I don't know, because I get the same thing. It could just be nostalgia after that. But
right.
it just kind of felt like this isn't really hitting me the way if I watch the original cartoon or if I read the book. It's just not quite hitting me the same way.
Mm-hmm.
They're at that point. But I don't know. It just doesn't hit quite as much, and I don't know if that's because it is expanded now, because
right.
it is a full movie. There's a lot more to it. There's something to be said for simplification, and less is more, and maybe that's why the original stuff hits me harder.
Right. But
is what I'm saying making any sense?
No, plenty by all means. I think one of the best aspects to sort of letting your imagination or sort of letting the audience fill in those elements is it allows you some sort of freedom of expression. I think within that space, you don't have everything laid out for you and spoon-fed in such a way. I think part of the fun of those old stories and original fairy tales and stuff like that are the stretches that you fill in with your mind. I think that's one of the most effective ways to do story like this. It's funny. That very same device works really well in even all the way down to horror. Way back we talked about the first Alien, and part of it made that so scary is how you don't see it, but based off of the information you see at the beginning, knowing what it was and what it might have grown into, you can guess any number of things. It becomes terrifying. So,
by the way, you win all Grinch reviews, being able to bring in Alien into a Grinch review. You win the internet today just for that, because that made complete sense too.
I tried. Thanks.
Yeah. The second thing was, and I think this is going to be more of a personal thing. I think this is going to just become, depending on each individual person. I don't like that they changed the style of the narration.
Yeah.
I can see they were obviously going for more of a modern feel for the narrator, and I don't know who it was, but he did just fine. Right. But I actually think that having kind of a classic old school narrator I think that would have done the movie more justice and actually brought it back to its roots a little bit more. Not that it strays from it too far,
Sure.
but I just think overall it would have been a better package.
No, hey, I'm actually right there. It's funny that that ties into one of my main gripes here. That style of narrating that sort of creates just a little bit of a rift, a little bit of a clash. Especially when you have those elements of the score. You know, when it comes down to it, there's so many parts of Grinch that's a musical, basically. And for most of this, and the score is very solid. You've got
Hmm.
classic orchestral tones and the classic tones from Whoville, everything you remember there. But occasionally you have this intermix of very, very modern, synthesized, beats, rhythms, some little bit of electronica, a little bit of an R&B feel here and there. Just occasionally it's there. But I felt when that happened, and then that combined with the narration sort of pulled me out of it a little bit.
It
I
does just a little.
yeah, yeah. I sort of wish it kept that even line all the way throughout. And I think the narration and then keeping as far as what we have musically, keeping that at an even kill, I think that would have done that. But
Well, now that's kind of funny, Ian, because I'm going to play off of that next. And
I
the
love it.
last thing that I would have to say that wasn't a huge fan of this movie was kind of devoid of your typical Dr. Seuss rhyming.
Yes,
There wasn't a lot of it. There was some, and it seemed like at some points they even made some more attempts at it, but it's so few and far between. It almost feels like that was accidental.
it does.
And I'm not going to say that it's going to be an easy job for them to try to find an even keel between do you go full on rhyme? Is this all one big rhyming thing? Or do you not? And they obviously went with the route of, look, we're just going to have a dialogue, we're going to have a script, and every once in a while they throw some stuff in, most of which is from the narrator.
Right.
But it just in that regard it felt kind of off.
Yeah. No, hey, I think totally valid. Totally valid point of criticism there. One thing about the Sue stories is not just what they did in terms of narrative, the way they brought wordplay and wordsmithing to you, but the way they could really bring that to life on page with, uh, having things as animated as they were, as bright as they were for that world. Um, but the the word portion of that, the narratory tone is so important. And I felt that the original Sue stories didn't have to strain much to do that. It had a style that was there, that was defined, and that didn't have to stretch much. It felt here that was a little more pushed, and even the times where it was pushed, it wasn't a complete smooth transition. I think
Right.
some of them there were some really fun parts where the narrator would kind of go on for a line, and then he'd purposely leave the last part of his line, and then the Grinch would complete it.
Yeah, there were a couple times when it even actually seemed like, hey, you totally could have had an awesome rhyme there, and they just didn't do it.
Right, right. They
But
missed it.
overall, though, this is really fun, and
Yeah.
when it gets to the point where I'm going to be buying holiday movies, and I'm not there yet in my life, but but I will be, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to be at the top.
Same.
One of the top of the list of movies that I will pick up. This was great. I'm sure there will be a combo pack that comes with the original, and when that does come out, I will buy it. I just don't want our complaints to overshadow the fact that this is really good.
It is.
This is a really good movie. I think you're going to see this one appearing on TV and every year, in a couple of years, and every year after that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Go to the theaters, take your kids to it, or be a weirdo like me and go and like Ian.
Yeah, and like me.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
some reason you even opted not to go with your family, which is over there right now.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, I made the attempt, man. I got people coming in town and stuff now, but it was just a whole catastrophe. It just didn't work out. Everybody was in separate directions. So I said, well, all right. So
If this was a month from now, I totally could have gotten by without it being weird if I was wearing like a Christmas hat.
see, it
Yeah.
would have been fine because it's like that whole holiday camaraderie, man. That's what I love about it. But
I mean, I'm not going to convince a soul if they no, not that anyone cared, but if they actually looked at me, I'm here to review it. It's like, no one's buying that. They're hugging their kid a little bit closer at that point.
yeah. Oh, I love it.
No, this was a lot of fun though. I'm kind of surprised again. Between this movie and the other one I had this weekend, which was Overlord, two very different movies. Um, I thought I was going to enjoy Overlord a lot more. If you would have told me that when I go the weekend I go to see Overlord in Dr. Seuss's The Grinch, I was going to like The Grinch more. Like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Funny how things work, man. Funny how it
Yeah,
turns out.
it's a lot of fun. Great stuff. If you're a fan, you'll like it. Period. You'll at least like it.
So hey, I mean, we're talking about the season, the ornaments, and you know where this movie's ending up. What do we want to rate this out of? What's our unit this time?
Yes, let me do it because I've wanted to do this for forever. This
Yeah.
is kind of off the bucket list.
Yeah.
One out of 10 little who's.
I love it. Well done. Oh man, you want me to go first? You
Yep, you can go first.
out of I'm gonna give this a solid 8 out of 10 who's, man.
8 out of 10 who's. I'm going to give it 8.5 little who's.
Right on. That little who had to be.
That's little Sally Lou.
Hey, here we go. Here we
Yeah,
go.
there's me rhyming. Little Sally Lou who.
Good stuff. But yeah, as Chris is saying, you guys heard it here. If you're looking for a holiday pick, hey, I can't think of a better example for the time for the season. Just gets you in the mood. It gets me excited.
You could go see Overlord too.
Yeah, or you could do that. You know, some Nazis and zombies.
Yeah, Nazi zombie stuff. It's not quite a holiday movie, but it'll make you feel better. Nazi zombies getting killed. I mean, come on, that's always good. That's good for the soul right there.
Nazi zombies, milk and cookies. I think we're on to something, man.
What'd you guys think of The Grinch? Where does it sit for you? I mean, everyone's going to have an opinion on this, obviously, because everybody loves Dr. Seuss. They love The Grinch. If you didn't like it as much as we did, if you think that this does not do the original justice, let us know why. I'd definitely love to hear people from a different perspective and where they decided this one needs to be blown up with the Nazi zombies.
I agree. But hey, we look forward to hearing from you guys. Again, hey, toss us a like, subscribe if you guys like this review and you want to hear more content just like this. Of course, stay tuned right here on our channel for more, not only movie reviews, our weekly show, but also our Let's Plays and other content. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to catch you again. But till next time, happy holidays. Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, is there anything to go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but it's great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksongmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.